SpaceX has won a contract worth over $102 million to transport military supplies and humanitarian aid around the world using a rocket. The U.S. Air Force awarded SpaceX the contract on January 14th. It's a 5-year agreement that's part of the Air Force Research Laboratory, or AFRL, new rocket cargo program. The new project is exploring the use of large rockets for Department of Defense, or DoD, global logistics. The contract states that SpaceX will demonstrate technologies and capabilities to transport military cargo and humanitarian aid around the world on a heavy rocket. This relationship stems from the fact that the DoD is very interested in the ability to deliver the cargo anywhere on Earth to support humanitarian aid and disaster relief. Greg Spanjers, the AFRL Rocket Cargo Program Manager, said, "Commercial vendors envision fixed point-to-point transport to established sites, a commercial service that we are certainly interested in procuring once available." Hello and welcome to Elon Musk Daily. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell to get updated with technology trends. We bring you the video related to a contract signed between SpaceX and the Department of Defense, and how Elon Musk will empower the U.S. Air Force through it. So, stick till the end. The U.S. Air Force awarded rocket builders United Launch Alliance and SpaceX contracts worth billions to launch national security missions for 5 years starting in 2022. The award represents the second phase of the military's National Security Space Launch Program, which is organized by the Air Force's Space and Missile Systems Center in Los Angeles, California. 4 companies, Elon Musk's SpaceX, ULA, Northrop Grumman, and Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin, bid for the contracts, with the military set to spend about $1 billion per year on launches. Spanjers added that while SpaceX has secured the initial contract, the Air Force plans to work with other companies as well as part of this program. Last year, Air Force officials unveiled Rocket Cargo Vanguard, a project that studied plans to deliver up to 100 tons of cargo anywhere on Earth using commercial rockets. The new contract doesn't specify which of SpaceX's launch vehicles will be used for this transport, but under the agreement, the AFRL will be able to view and access data for all of SpaceX's orbital launches and booster landings so the right vehicle for the job can be chosen and assessed. SpaceX has been flying reusable Falcon 9 rockets for years, and also has a heavy-lift Falcon Heavy rocket with reusable boosters for larger missions. The company is also developing a massive rocket called Starship that will use a reusable Super Heavy booster to launch up to 100 metric tons to Earth orbit. That rocket, SpaceX CEO Musk has said, could be capable of point-to-point travel around Earth. Under the new contract, the AFRL will also be able to call upon SpaceX to demonstrate its heavy cargo transport and landing capabilities, though there is not yet a specified timeline for when such demonstrations might happen. AFRL will be leveraging several commercial demonstration launches over the next few years to collect the data, Spanjers said, adding that the Air Force does not drive this schedule but rather will collect data whenever SpaceX flies relevant missions. As part of the contract, SpaceX will also design cargo bays for the Air Force, specifically cargo bays that can be quickly loaded and unloaded and can fit with the U.S. Aside from transporting cargo and supplies for the U.S. military, the contract also extends to disaster relief and humanitarian aid deliveries. However, there aren't spaceports anywhere that disaster strikes, so landing a rocket filled with necessary supplies is a challenge that will have to be overcome. To deal with this obstacle, Spanjers said that the AFRL is exploring a wider range of novel trajectories to mitigate overflight issues, exploring a broad range of landing options for austere sites, researching human factors when landing near populations, and integrating a broader range of cargo, including medical supplies. ULA, United Launch Alliance, a joint venture of Boeing and Lockheed Martin, and SpaceX are the reigning launch providers for national security missions, having launched dozens of payloads for the military over the last decade. National security missions are the most lucrative in the rocket business, with many worth over $100 million per launch. The U.S. military awarded ULA and SpaceX over $12 billion worth of launch contracts between 2012 and 2019. 2 years ago, the Air Force gave ULA, Northrop Grumman, and Blue Origin development contract awards worth $967 million, $792 million, and $500 million respectively. The process has been highly competitive, with SpaceX suing the Air Force after not winning a development award and Blue Origin protesting the criteria the Pentagon used for the launch contracts. Each of the companies has been devoting next-generation rockets, with the NSSL contracts a top priority. SpaceX has a fleet of Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets and is currently testing its massive Starship rocket. ULA is building its Vulcan rocket to replace its aging Atlas and Delta fleet of rockets, as well as to end dependence on Russian-built rocket engines. ULA's Atlas V rocket is powered by RD-180 engines, which are bought from Russia. Northrop Grumman has been developing its Omega rocket and has been focused largely on winning the Air Force contracts. While the company has said it expects Omega could serve markets beyond just the military, losing out on the award puts doubt whether Northrop Grumman continues development. Blue Origin will likely continue to build its New Glenn rocket despite losing out the award, given the other projects Blue Origin's company is working on. The New Glenn is designed to be reusable in a manner similar to the way SpaceX lands its rockets, with the booster returning after each mission. Blue Origin CEO Bob Smith last year said that the company would continue New Glenn's development regardless of whether it won NSSL launch contracts. SpaceX, Elon Musk's startup space company, announced recently that it would drop its lawsuit against the Air Force protesting the award of a lucrative contract to launch military satellites. In a joint statement, the Air Force and SpaceX said that the California-based company agreed to drop the suit because the Air Force has expanded the number of competitive opportunities for launch services. SpaceX filed the suit in the Court of Federal Claims last spring, arguing that the contract, which was awarded to the United Launch Alliance, should have been competitively bid. The announcement comes after months of acrimony between the parties. Musk, the billionaire founder of Tesla and PayPal, had accused the Air Force of improperly awarding a sole source contract and said it was taking too long to certify its company for the launches. SpaceX had hoped that it would be certified by the end of the year, but earlier this month, the Air Force said that was not likely to happen until the middle of this year. In an interview, Musk accused military procurement officials of holding up the certification to curry favor with the ULA, the joint venture of defense contracting giants Lockheed Martin and Boeing. Essentially, we're asking them to award a contract to a company where they are probably not going to get a job, against a company where their friends are, he said. So they've got to go against their friends and their future retirement program. This is a difficult thing to expect. Air Force Secretary Deborah Lee James called his remarks rather unfortunate, and she said the service was working diligently to get SpaceX certified for the launches. She also appointed retired General Larry D. Welch, a former chief of staff, to lead an independent review of the certification process, which would explore whether there are ways that can streamline, speed it up, do things a little bit differently. In the joint statement, the parties said that under the agreement, the Air Force will work collaboratively with SpaceX to complete the certification process in an efficient and expedient manner. The multi-billion-dollar contract is for 36 rockets to launch defense payloads, including satellites. By 2030, the Pentagon expects to spend almost $70 billion on the program. That said, this is it for today's video. So, what is your take on this matter? Tell us in the comments. If you want to see our upcoming videos, ring the bell icon, and don't forget to like our video as well. That's all from my side. Thanks for watching.